Hi, I'm Stephanie Peral, and welcome to Site Speak. Today we're joined by the one and only Rafael Cabrera. Hello.
Hi, Stephanie.
Welcome.
Thank you so much. What a pleasure to be here with you.
Of course, we're excited to be here as well. Is this your first time doing a podcast?
I think it might be my first time doing a podcast.
Oh, okay. You're excited, right? It's going to be a good day.
Very much so. Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. So I want to get to know a little bit about you. Were you born in Miami?
Born and raised.
Oh,
Born and
okay.
raised.
Are your parents born and raised in Miami too, or?
My parents were not. My parents were both born in Cuba, and they both came when they were little. 1960, my mom, she was 5, and my father came in 61. He was 7 years old when he came.
Oh, wow. So yours were young. My dad came when he was like 15, I think, so a little bit older, but my parents are also Cuban. So we're both very stereotypical Miami in the best way.
Very much so. So I was born and raised here in Miami, born in Miami Beach, Mount Sinai. My mother used to be a nurse.
Oh, cool.
Mount Sinai, so I was born there, and then I grew up in Westchester.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Oh, wait. So did your mom? Oh my God. I was about to ask the dumbest question if your mom helped deliver you. I literally was about to ask that.
Well, she helped a lot. I mean, I wouldn't be here without her.
Because she had you when you said that she was a nurse. Oh my God, that might be the dumbest thing. If you can lift your mic just a little bit.
Sure.
Yeah, I know it's a little tough to remember to do it here, but okay, very cool. Is she still a nurse?
No, my mother passed away.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
But my sister and I were both born in Mount Sinai, and yeah, my mother was a nurse, and then my father worked civil engineer, surveyor, worked in the construction field, which is how I came to know the Latin builders.
Oh, okay. So tell me a little bit more about your dad. So growing up, did you always like go to work with him and stuff, or like how was that?
Well, my dad, I learned definitely work ethic from both my parents, being coming here, being, from a young age, but being immigrants and stuff, worked very hard, to provide, honestly provided me and my sister with an incredible life, giving us, more than they ever had, and taught us incredible work ethic and the importance of getting an education, and then the values of family and always being together. And I would say most important than anything, my parents, no matter how busy they were, they always gave us their time. And now as a father, I know how challenging that can be with the responsibilities of, personal and work life and stuff to balance all of that. And my parents did a wonderful job with that.
And so you just want to pay it forward to your kids and do the same?
If I could just do a fraction of what my parents did like that, I'm going to do just fine.
That's beautiful. So you got interested in the construction industry, and I know you went to FIU for finance, right?
Yeah. So growing up, like I said, in Westchester, working class family. My dad, the way I learned about the Latin builders was my dad used to work for a Latin builder director back in the day, Jorge Avignon, with Avignon and Associates. And then so my dad used to manage the office. And so still to this day, what is now a lot of our past presidents, a lot of our long-standing members and stuff were the people at that time doing, the development. And, the parallels between Miami and the Latin builders are synonymous, and it's something that I picked up on since I was a young boy. But it's incredible looking back now and seeing how the growth of Miami, from, when my parents got here, from when the Latin builders were established, that we're coming up on 55 years, that growth is parallel with the growth of the Latin builders, and it's incredible the impact that the Latin builders have had on our community. So as a young boy, my dad working for a director, I remember sitting around the dinner table, and it was kind of like, well, if you grow up, if you do the wrong things, you end up dead or in jail. And then
don't want to do that.
And I'm like, well, I don't want to die, and I don't think I'll do well in jail. So I was like, so what's the alternative? And so and sure enough, my dad, if you make it, in this town, you're a Latin builder. So, and that had a profound impact on me. And so since I was a young boy, I said, when I grow up, I'm going to be a Latin builder.
I love that. And you did it. Yeah. So for those who don't know, what is the Latin Builders Association? Obviously, it's evident in the title, but if you can speak on it a little bit more.
Well, the Latin Builders Association has been around since 1971. So we're coming up on 55 years next year. And it was honestly started predominantly, at the time when it was founded, it was, just like Miami, when it started growing here, the Cubans came, and you had a lot of what were basically, foremen and laborers that kind of organized and got together and said, we're going to bid and advocate to get jobs. and that's on the inception of how it started. Since then, it's obviously grown where it's the largest Hispanic construction association in the country, with member companies, and now construction is literally at the base of everything. But now it's spawns out to all the different things that feed off of construction. You have insurance, you have marketing, you have so many different variables that come off of the Latin builders, and what it's grown to, and honestly the places and where it's going. So it's exciting, and it's incredible the impact that it's had on our community and continues to have.
And so it's meant to kind of foster that community and that sense of networking within the Latin builders, right?
Absolutely. Down here in South Florida, and we have members, even out of the state, but even from Central Florida and stuff like that. A lot of our companies from here are doing a lot of work in Central Florida. That's booming. Florida in general. It's just a great place to be.
Yeah.
So,
what are some of the initiatives that the LBA does?
So we're a business association. So the association's not for profit, but our members are,
For profit.
So, we're there to, advocate and support one another in business, and then advocate for the industry issues, primarily with construction or anything that's important to our members. But from the construction aspect, advocating legislatively, and things that affect the construction industry.
Is there anything recently that the LBA has accomplished that you're particularly proud of, or something that's indicative of, how much it helps the community? Because I know you guys do help with legislation and stuff. That's huge.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of so our president now, Tony Gomez, and our immediate past president, Gus Cabrera, helped advocate a lot. There was recently, I would say about a year or so back, there was some proposed legislation for like a heat ordinance and whatnot that would, basically have a very drastic. The way that it was being proposed was going to have a very negative effect on the construction industry in general, because the parameters that were set in place, although coming from good intention, it would set requirements. Basically, down here it's hot. You're from South Florida.
Very.
You can count on the
muggy.
heat and you can count on the rain.
Yeah.
But they were going to set certain parameters, requiring which OSHA and those things. I mean, not to get into the weeds of it, but a lot of those concerns are already covered with other
that federal
regulations and stuff. But it would affect the way that you have the work sites and stuff. People need to it's inevitable. If you're a roofer, if you're a structural person, lane break. I mean, you're going to be out in the sunlight and whatnot. And I can assure you, all of our member companies and stuff take all the safe places, all the steps necessary, having the water, the proper shade and stuff. But nonetheless, LBA got together, led with our presidents, our past presidents, and gathered together with our lawyers are involved. In our association, we have great legal team put together, and kind of went to bat and advocated for it. And that's something that's been, since tabled off. And that's just one recent example. There's other initiatives that we're always working on as far as for funding or advocating for zoning laws and things of that nature that inevitably affect the industry.
So you are the president-elect, which will change in 1 week, and you'll become the official president. So I was wondering, is there anything specifically that you wanted to take on during your reign, something that you're especially excited to kind of get your hands in, or just kind of overall accomplishing the dream that your dad set out for you?
Well, I would say it's kind of a balance of, definitely, honoring the past, and if it ain't broken, don't fix it kind of model. So we have a very successful, illustrious association that's been around. There's a reason not everything makes it to 54, 55
Definitely
years.
not.
So I'm not one to just go ahead and reinvent the wheel per se like that, but you're always looking. There's always room for improvement in everything. So kind of build upon what's been laid out. I'm I'm blessed to be able to take the reins from Tony and following in Gus Cabrera's steps. They kind of really elevated the association, from where it was at, taking it to new levels. And so it's something that I've had also the advantage of working hand in hand, because our association does a great job of a succession, right? So like you said, I'm president-elect now. Next week when I take over as president, we'll elect our next president-elect. So that's somebody that's going to work closely with me, hand in hand. So our transitions typically are pretty smooth
and natural.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's important.
So you have time for planning and kind of like already start working on projects. And when I take over now as president, anything that's left just not completely finished that Tony's working on, we've already been working on.
The transition already started, so it's not going to be like abrupt.
Yeah, so you kind of continue building, and it allows you to, very much, right? We are builders.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So I want to kind of go back to the beginning of how you started. So I know you started with your dad, and he always wanted you to be part of the LBA, but when you went into school, you went in for finance, right? So what was kind of your approach into entering the construction world with that finance degree?
Yeah, so I guess, I have to say, my parents and my dad in particular was very much so, as a child, they always told me, look, when you grow up, I don't want you to go into the medical field because your mom's in the medical field. You don't need to go into construction or engineering and stuff because I'm in it. Just in life, you got to wake up and you got to work every day, and that's part of life. So, and I was always very ambitious as a child, very entrepreneurial.
Yeah.
I think he could, see that, and so he would say, don't look to work for the money. Make sure you love what you do, and
that's
if you
so
love
important.
what you do, then you're going to be good at it, and if you're good at it, then the money will follow. And so, very wise words and sound advice that I took to heart.
Yeah.
And so, but I was always, I saw the impact, right? So I grew up in a house built by Latin builders.
Yeah.
Built by a past president, financed, developed. So, it was always kind of in my face. In
your blood at this point.
Yeah. I mean, it's like I said,
yeah.
The growth of Miami to me through my eyes and everything, the LBA has been there every step of the way. So it was something that I always said I wanted to be a part of. So as far as finance, FIU, I'm a proud FIU alumni.
Yeah.
Panther, and so going. I always, like I said, I was very entrepreneurial. Wanted to be a business guy, and I kind of, when I was looking and I started at FIU, I said, well, I know I want to go into business, and then I kind of looked at it's kind of between accounting or finance, and I said, well, I don't typically want to be like an accountant per se.
Yeah.
So I kind of said, well, you know what, let me learn finance, and it turned out very well. And then, I'm very finance-minded, so I ended up, I'm a serial entrepreneur. I'm involved in different industries.
Yeah, so tell me a little bit about those. You have so much on your plate. It's fascinating.
Yeah.
So how did you delve into so many different, where did you start?
Well, so I started as from a young boy, like I said, very entrepreneurial. I started from a young boy selling water, literally.
You were that kid.
I was that kid selling water out on the streets, and then I'm involved in the entertainment industry with ticketing. So for all sporting events, concert stuff down here in South Florida, largest ticket holder for like Miami Heat, Miami Dolphins, Miami Open.
So your company manages ticketing?
So basically it's kind of like we own like the rights to the seats.
Oh, okay. No big. No biggie. Okay.
And then, then there's big sites like, like the Ticketmaster stuff, of those things that are the actual ones dealing with the end user, whatnot. So we actually hold the inventory. And so I started off with that young. That's kind of where I got a lot of my seed money. And then like a true finance major, my goal was always to diversify. So I started getting into real estate, residential, rentals, things like that. Of that
just
nature.
inventing in real estate. Would you flip properties or?
No, mostly, buying, holding,
Okay.
In that residential rental space is how I started. And then I delved into like franchising and the Smoothie Kings. So I wanted to get a little bit into like the food without the, open fire and stuff like that.
So you have some Smoothie Kings under your belt?
Some Smoothie King franchises I'm involved in.
Very cool.
Then I wanted to get into the healthcare space. And so I got in with a childhood buddy of mine, and we're investors in on a kidney dialysis
Oh, wow. Okay. That's important.
center. So, but again, coming from the finance minded thing, I had the entertainment is where I got my seed money. Then I went into the real estate, which is the long term, kind of like end goal. And then I got into that franchising slash, food
Yeah.
industry, and then healthcare. And then I got involved, naturally with the Latin Builders, and my involvement is I've been around with the association at this point now coming up on like 15 years, and I started as a member, went up junior director, executive board, president-elect, and then
So you worked your way up all the way from the bottom.
Yeah.
So that was going to be you have such an impressive, I don't know what to call it, resume or portfolio, and it's so diverse and everything you've accomplished and stuff. And so when people see people like you and they're like, oh, I want to be him, but it's like, where do I even start, right? Like you said, you're born with that hustler mentality, and that's a part that you can't really make and you can't give someone. But let's say someone does have that hustler mentality and they're like, where do they start?
I always say you probably go to lbaorg.com.
Love
you
it.
look up our membership or contact Javiera. She's great, in charge of our membership. Become a member, get involved. And I always say the LBA is kind of like a gym membership. If you sign up and
For
you
life.
don't attend, then results aren't guaranteed. But if you show up and I like to call it, it's like a business fraternity, sorority of sorts. It's a immeasurable value, and it really becomes you come in and it starts that way, and really the LBA I think has been so successful for so long because it becomes a family. If you're involved and you come and you consistently come to all of our events, I mean, we do membership cocktails all the time. It's incredible value for our members. You sign up for a membership. Our membership's $1,000 for the year, and then we typically try to have one membership cocktail a month. That's included for free if you're a member.
Nice.
And it's usually, on a Thursday, maybe a Wednesday. We try to keep it like midweek, keep it business. And you come and then you can network. You'll have usually about 200 people at a cocktail. And then we have our infamous end of month luncheons.
Okay.
Those are typically on the last Friday of the month. We try to make it. Sometimes it doesn't work out to be the last Friday of the month, but always a Friday.
It's a good amount of events every month, though.
Yeah, and then we have our signature events, of course, biannually. Every time we install a new president, we have our big gala. That's like our big showcase event. Mine will be March 14th next year.
Very nice. And you just had the rewards reception?
We just had our awards. Our awards is also a very big event, and it's very special because we get to honor all the different companies throughout all the industries. We had like 70 award recipients.
Condesa won an award. I just have to plug that in right there. Thank you.
And I gotta say that when I take over as president October 9th, my president's welcome cocktail, a membership cocktail for our members, Condesa's sponsoring.
Amazing.
So
yay.
Thank you for that.
Of course. That makes us happy. What are the different, so you spat them out really quickly of the different tiers at the LBA. You said you started as a member and you worked all your way up. Can you repeat what the different tiers are?
So if you're a member company, you can, stay as a member company. And then now if you want to get involved as far as on the leadership end or more involved in volunteering, we do have committees where as a member, you can join our membership committee, our events committee, and have some involvement and more say on the things that we do as we're planning with all these events we do. But then if you actually want to get onto what's the board, we have a junior director, which is basically when you're under the age of 33, you can join up to that point. And then from that we have our directors. Director, you could be under 33 and be a director, but and then there's no age limit, I guess you would say, but it's a director. And then there's the executive board. The executive board's picked by the president. It's kind of like their cabinet of sorts.
Okay. So that's what I was going to ask. For the committees, can you just join? You don't need to be elected for them?
No, I mean you would. So usually the people that chair them will be directors.
Okay.
Typically the president will assign who's chairing which committees, but our members, that are member companies, can still participate in the committees,
Okay.
and help out if they want to have involvement with them. Our membership committee is a popular one because basically
Membership is huge.
everybody goes through there.
Yeah.
So you get to know, you get to meet, especially everybody coming in, the active members, whatnot. We do the membership cocktails, we do membership orientations, and then we have also we have monthly info seminars, so that a lot of
cool.
our member companies are able to kind of showcase. We usually host them at our offices around lunchtime. We provide lunch for those who attend, and then it kind of allows our members a way to showcase kind of what they do, because a lot of people show up, you network, you meet people, you tell them this is what I do, you give them a business card, but you don't have that opportunity to really explain.
Showcase it.
Let me show you. Look, this is what we do and whatnot. So that's been very effective. Something popular that's a benefit for
Everybody.
for all of our membership. And then our events committee,
I'm sure they're busy.
they're busy with they're involved with our cocktails, our signature events. So we have, like I was saying, our gala, which is biannual. We have our annual golf tournament, which is typically in May. Then we have our annual fishing tournament. That's a 3-day event.
3 days?
Super nice event down in the Keys. We usually do it
Oh,
in Playa
wow.
Largo. In Key Largo, it's been for the last several years. And it's nice because it's, you're kind of away without being
Totally away. Do you guys actually eat the fish you catch?
Well, some do. I mean, yeah, absolutely.
Some do, some don't.
I like it. I mean, but no, it's always a good time.
Yeah.
It's a family fun event. People usually bring their families. The fishing tournament is open to everybody, not only fishermen.
Okay.
I would say maybe about 20% of the people that attend actually go
Fish.
out and fish.
Yeah.
Point being that, everybody from, I take my newborns all the way through. So it's for all ages. It's a good time. You kind of get to spend a lot of time together over 3 days. So it's a good
Oh, that's beautiful. And you guys get to bring your
networking, bonding
families. So
time.
it's
That's why I said the LBA becomes, you come in, you're a member, you're coming in just for business, which, obviously we're all, there, for business and stuff, but you gain a family out of it because you spend the time over the years so many times together. You get to know each other's families, kids, everything. You help each other. It becomes so much more, which is hard to, in some ways, it's hard to kind of describe or sell in any way. It's
you kind of have to experience it to know it.
To see it, yeah.
What other things like that about the LBA do you think would surprise somebody that they don't know?
What would surprise people about the LBA that they don't know? Well, certainly it's not like our luncheons or our events being packed or our post-event cocktails or things like that. I don't think that would surprise people. I think most people get to know that.
Yeah.
Either know that or know it quickly. But I would say probably that aspect, the fact of how much of, because I think sometimes people get, you show up to an event and there might be, if you go to a luncheon and there's 400 people, 500, if you come to an awards, it's like, where do you even begin if you don't know? So unless,
Right.
you know somebody or you showed up and they can start introducing, it could be a little bit overwhelming, a little bit almost even intimidating when you walk in, like.
It was for me. Yeah, it is. It's a lot of people.
So we're always trying to, if you come and you're on membership or on our events committee, we're always looking at how do we best integrate and make people feel welcome, comfortable, so that they can see what we're about. And then it's like, oh, it's not so bad. Then you become a part of it, and you see it. The longer you're in, you see it as people come in, and then people give you the testimony. They'll say, man, I came in, I didn't know, but then all of a sudden, boom, it clicked.
And then now I love it and I'm part of the family.
Yeah, so I would say that I think it would kind of surprise people because people think, oh, like business, you just go. I think we're different. Look, there's other, associations and chapters and things like that. But, I think, again, to reiterate, there's a reason why we've been around 54, 55 years, so consistent and so effective. The value that we give back to our membership, I mean, I'm completely biased at this point.
Yeah.
But
I mean, but it speaks for itself at the same time.
I really think it does.
Yeah.
So I think people would be surprised though at that family aspect it does, because I think at first people might think, some people say, oh, it could be so, kind of cliquey and whatnot. Listen, relationships develop. There's groups
Everything's
within
always
it.
going to be
It's a large
cliquey,
group.
even within families.
But yeah, right. Yeah, I mean, you kind of have like your little groups, but
Yeah.
there's really a place for everybody
Yeah.
there for the most part. And I think that's something that might surprise people about our association.
And that you're proud of.
Very.
And you have a very unique perspective since you've been following the LBA since you were little. And you had kind of touched on earlier, but what's kind of the biggest evolution you've seen with it throughout the years?
Well,
Or is it just more like staying up to date with everything that's happening in Miami and growing with the city?
Well, I mean, yes, I think it's, just like Miami. I mean, I remember being a kid and driving to downtown Miami, and there was a Centrist building that would change colors, and when the Dolphins were playing, it was the colors, and I thought it was the coolest thing.
Coolest thing, yeah.
I mean, it really was.
Yeah.
But there was that. There was maybe the Intercontinental, where we'll have our gala, which I kind of wanted to, like I said, I want to always honor the past, but keep building for our future.
Right.
But now you look at Miami skyline, just from the time I was a kid to now, and it's almost unrecognizable.
Completely.
In such an amazing way,
Yeah.
And we've always been a great, city, a great place to grow up. I have no complaints about my childhood. I'm a proud,
Miamian. Yeah.
But really now we've become like, you can go anywhere in the world and if they say, where are you from? Miami. People's eyes, they'll stop whatever they're doing. Miami.
That's true.
And I mean, that's, I like to think, the Latin Builders has had a huge part in that. You're talking about the men and women that literally
Built the city.
And in every way, from a literal sense, from a structural sense, but everything that takes to building. It's like you can have a house, but
What makes it a home?
a home, right? And I think that our associations integrated and intertwined in every part of that with Miami.
Does the LBA also give back to the community in any way? Because I know you are personally involved in a lot of like charitable organizations and stuff. Do you do that through the LBA, or is that more on your own?
Well, I mean, I have been in the past, on my own, but the LBA, we definitely do. We have our philanthropic, we have our LBA Children's and Family Foundation.
And what's that?
So that's basically our charitable foundation that we do. So a lot of times when we have like with our major events, we take a portion of our proceeds and stuff so that we can advocate in the community. Now how that has played out throughout the years, I mean, different ways, right? We've taken on different projects or initiatives or things that we help. And a lot of our members already, the good thing about it is they're kind of doing it with their own companies, but they kind of collaborated and run it through the LBA and do it. A lot of our leadership, a lot of our longstanding members.
So it's more than just having kind of the solidarity and the loyalty within the LBA, but it also seems like it's a good platform to raise your business and to elevate your business and get more support as well, right?
Yeah, I mean, like for example, this Saturday, I'll be attending the Magic Waste Foundation out of Foster, their gala.
Okay.
LBA has been a long time supporter from the inception of that organization. They're a long time. Rudy Bustamante and Magic Waste been a long time member with the LBA. I mean, probably about as long as I've been born, they've been involved with the LBA, and they do some really good work with the Out of Foster in our community. They've teamed up with even FIU, my alma mater, and stuff. So we're involved in it as an association. A lot of our members are involved and give back. A lot of our directors, some of our directors are on that board.
Is it a requirement to be part of the philanthropic, or is that voluntary?
No, it's voluntary. I mean,
Okay.
Basically our whole association, I mean, we're a non-for-profit and we're,
Yeah.
It's a pro bono job. Even when you take over the presidency, it's pro bono.
Yeah.
But like anything else, you always get out more than what you put in. I believe that wholeheartedly in anything in life. What you put in is, I always feel, they say you get out what you put in, but I say you always get out more than what you put in. So even in a philanthropic, you do it and you're giving, but what you receive in a different way is, I mean, the lessons, the satisfaction, the gratitude. I mean, it's just
What kind of lessons like that, not necessarily tied to philanthropic, but from being part of the LBA and especially throughout your entire life, has helped you as a businessman as well? Has it taught you networking, client relationships? Like, what have you been able to take from the LBA into your own profession as well?
Oh, well, really, it starts basically the relationships is the key, right? Because a lot of times, I get to sit and do this nice fancy podcast here, but nobody builds anything great on their own, and nobody makes it anywhere on their own. For me, my success is my different business, even how I've been involved. I didn't grow up and per se say, I'm gonna, be able to sell tickets or be involved in dialysis or have, or sell smoothies.
You weren't 5 and being like, I want to sell dialysis machines.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
But it's really off of relationships, right? And then those opportunities that are created there. And for me personally, the LBA has been at the center of that because I've been involved from the onset of my young career. As soon as I got involved, and then you start, meeting peoples, and that's how the doors have kind of opened the opportunities. Life, when opportunity knocks, you have to be ready to
100%. And I know that, like, to everything you just spoke as well, there has to have been difficulties along the way too with the LBA, right? Not everything's smooth sailing. How do you kind of handle that with keeping the values of the LBA in place?
Well, I think certainly, nothing worth having comes easy, right? So, but I believe not only persistency, but consistency, which is easier said than done, right? Being consistent at anything. Consistently good or bad is hard. Anything.
Consistently bad is hard.
To be consistent is difficult, but I believe if you stick at it and you learn from a mistake, try not repeating the same mistakes over. We're human beings, so we make mistakes daily, constantly. But as long as you try to avoid making the same ones and build on it, and your support group, you're right, and your personal life, if you're member with the LBA in your companies, in your professional life, who you surround yourself with, I think has a profound effect.
There's that saying in Spanish, right? I'm going to butcher it.
Dime con quien anda, y te diré quién eres.
Exactly. My parents have told me that my entire life.
Birds of a feather flock together.
Yep.
So,
it's very true.
So I think if you become a part of the LBA, the good way largely outweighs any of the negative or the bad, and you kind of learn from it, right? I mean, the association is not perfect, but
nothing is.
Again, it's great overall. And again, I go back to 54 years and counting.
Yeah.
It's not short. The association's been through a lot of good and bad times, right? Through the time of history, economies, recessions, whatnot, and
survived
no
it all.
What it's been through, we've been faced with a lot of challenges. So despite all those challenges, the association's persevered through, and that's a testament to its membership, its leadership throughout the years. It's a lot. It's generational at this point.
Yeah, it's an institution. So I know I've asked you a lot of questions about the LBA. Is there anything that you haven't mentioned about the LBA that you'd like people to know about?
Anything I haven't mentioned about the LBA that I'd like them to know? I'd like them to know that we're gonna, continue building. Like I said, on everything that's been built from the past, moving forward. I'm very excited to continue, growing our membership, and kind of the feedback as you grow that membership, you get, and we've kind of become an even more diverse business group where it opens up to different, that leads to new opportunities and excitement. Again, a lot along the lines of our city down here. And the excitement that brings. I think there's a whole global international aspect that's coming into it, and we're very blessed that we're here in Florida.
Yes, booming to the moon.
Greatest state in the union here. So I think I'd want, let's say, potential members to know this is the LBA is the place to be.
I love that.
And the futures never look brighter.
And remind them again where they can sign up and become a member.
You go to lbaorg.com and you get under the membership tab there, you can pull up an application. And or you can contact our office, Javiera, in charge of our Javi's in charge of our membership.
Okay.
Ask for the
Perfect.
president-elect.
Awesome.
Help you out, guide you hand by hand there.
Thank you so much. Well, it was so lovely to have you today and to learn more about the LBA. This was great.
Thank you so much.
Thank
It's great
you.
for my, I think, what is my first
Your first podcast, you did
here at
great.
SiteSpeak. So
You were a
thank you.
natural.
And thank you to Condesa again. Look forward to next week and hosting all of our membership there at what will be my first President's Welcome Cocktail. And
Amazing.
Thank you again to Condesa for
Of course.
supporting and sponsoring.
We look forward to it.
Thank you.